Okay, welcome. I am live. Let me get some things going and I'll be right with you. Let me make sure the stream has started and the audio is okay. And looks like the stream has started. Audio is good. Okay, so welcome. Let me just get this shared out to a few different of my networks. And we're going to get started here. We're going to be playing with Dream Machine. And let me share this on a few places. And we're going to do some live development as well. So just let me get this going. Live streaming of my AI-powered Dream Machine on YouTube. Post that there. Okay, so we're on the stream, and what I'm going to do is first I'm going to show you what I've got here. So I've uploaded a static image, and I've generated this animation from that image. Just from the image and from prompts. There's very little to this in terms of what I'm doing. Now there is also an audio soundtrack that I have muted because this is remote, but we will hear the audio soon. So I've downloaded this locally, and we'll actually listen to the audio and check this out. So the image and the audio is all AI generated from prompts using a toolkit from Stability. So before we get into the code or into this, I urge you to look at Stability AI, and they have a whole toolkit on Hugging Face in particular, where you can start to get things like image to video, text to image, and stable audio. So we'll get into the code in a little bit, but let's make one from scratch. So I'm going to refresh this page. Now it needs a Hugging Face key in order to download the models. Hey Dale. Thanks for joining. So we're going to put a Hugging Face key in. Now in my system, we can manually enter a prompt, right? Make a unicorn in front of a 3D rainbow or whatever. We can also use this kind of neat system that I've made of menu drop downs. So different settings, different movies, different characters, different animals, different environments, historical events, the style of the image, the artistic style, right? But for now, let's upload an image. So I'm going to upload this image of this panda bear, and let's take a look at the image. Not panda bear, excuse me, polar bear that I got at the San Diego Zoo. Now I'm hoping the AI will animate it shaking its head and the water flying off of its head. I don't know, but let's try it. So we're going to go next. Now for the music, we have prompts, and let's just manually say a cold Arctic theme for a polar bear shaking off its cold water after getting out of the ocean. Something like this. So that's the theme for our audio soundtrack. Now, what's going to happen now is the GPU is going to spike, and it's going to just process. Now, I don't know how long this takes. Typically with uploaded images, like that small image I uploaded, it's not very big. So this shouldn't take too long because I'm not generating the AI image first. I'm animating an existing image. So this does take a bit of time, but we can explore the code once we do another generation. Now, if you had an image on the internet or an image you wanted to send me that you wanted to animate, we can do that. The other thing is we can just play with random selections. So I like to say like a random movie with a random style and a random artistic style, and just see what combinations we can come up with. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. On my YouTube channel, I've started to put all of these together in a playlist called Dream Machine Creations. So you can see, like, I've animated this rocket ship and you can hear the audio. I've animated this photograph. Now this one turned out really well. The people in the background are even laughing and moving around on both sides of the main image. I'm patting his back and it looks like I'm laughing, moving around with me. So this is quite remarkable. Some are better than others. This is an AI generated one that turned out really well. Now, are we done yet? So it looks like it's into the audio generation phase. We can see the GPU coming down and then building back up. So there we go. All right, now let's see how well this did. We're going to mute it. And let's see if it shakes off its head. Well, it's more like a seal than a bear. But it's still kind of neat. Pretty cool with the water, really, though, the effects of the water and everything. So let's go ahead and download that and move it locally so we can take a listen to the audio. And let's go ahead and upload it to YouTube and just get this video up here. Now again, it's not, I thought it would shake its head more and the water would fly off of it, but so polar bear shakes off cold. Now the other thing is, from the San Diego Zoo, and this goes into Dream Machine, and it's not made for kids. Public, publish. And now let's take a listen. Let me grab my earphones to the audio that it was generated. Ha! Ubiquity. That's funny. So let's take a listen to this one. Wow, the audio is really good for that. And look at the ripples of water in front of its body and the water coming off of its head and everything. The rock moves in the background. Anyway, pretty exciting stuff what we can do here. So I have a bunch of animals that don't take very long to generate, but let's go ahead and just generate one from some random prompts. And again, these are very hit and miss. So let's go ahead and do something from, oh geez, I don't know. Let's just do random. And we'll do a random style and a random artistic style. Actually, let's not do a movie. Let's just do a random character. And we're going to generate the prompt. So what I'm using is Ollama to generate Blade Runner. Okay, we can do Blade Runner. So create an image of a sorcerer in the style of traditional Japanese woodblock prints with a modern video game aesthetic. So we can change that. And I saw a request for Blade Runners. So if it's not in the list, we can override it. So there's Blade Runner. And we'll do Blade Runner in a anime style. Just something that simple. So generate the prompt. Create an anime and style image inspired by Blade Runner featuring a scene or character from the movie. Okay. Now I don't know how well that's going to do. So let's just leave it though. So we're going to hit next. Now one thing I'd like to do is augment the code maybe even today to, instead of, and we'll use an 80s theme in a cyberpunk setting and generate the music prompt. So as it stands, when I hit next here, it's going to make the original image, make the original image, animate the image, generate the audio, and then assemble them all at the end. I think it might be neat in between menus to show the user what image was generated before they move on to the music, and let them listen to the music before they move on. And I started toying with that. It's going to take a little bit of refactoring and a little bit more code, but I do think I'm going to enhance that. Now this might take minutes to generate, so let's go ahead and look at the code real quick. And here's an older one. Now this didn't animate very well. I don't know if VS Code's going to be able to show it. Let me delete that. That's an older one. So anyway, if we look at the code, and I do have this, I have all of the selections for the audio. Sorry, everything is tied up in GPU, so I can't do very much with the code, but we can look at it. So I have audio selection and image selection YAML files that have the lists for the drop-down menus. It's all the Streamlit app, but the key here is the Stable Diffusion pipelines, as well as the, there's an audio one as well. So I'm using Llama 3 to generate the prompts in case the user did the drop-down menus to assemble a prompt. I'm using Llama 3 to generate a file name based on the prompt and the music prompt. So we get a unique file name every time that's relevant to the prompts used to create the movie. Enter your Hugging Face key. Now here you can either enter manually, use drop-down menus, or upload your own image. And a lot of this is the selection of the prompts. So as of here, I should be able to change this code to show the AI generated image from the prompt and let them, continue or regenerate the image. Similar for the music, very similar code here. Now here's where we get into the actual generation. So the uploaded image, or if they uploaded an image, we're going to skip this step. But we're going to use the Stable Diffusion 3 pipeline and the medium diffusion model to generate the image if it was a prompt or a bunch of menus selected. We're going to use the GPU, and then the rest of this code here. So now we have the image. This generates the image from the prompt. We're then going to use the image to video XT from the Stable Video Diffusion pipeline to animate that image. And then we're going to use the Stable Audio Open to generate the audio. The rest of the code just reassembles it. Now it looks like I'm really running out of resources here. What happened? Yeah, it should still be working. Let's just be patient with it here. Why is it all in CPU instead of GPU though? I'm just wondering what's going on with this generation. And I've lost my VS Code. I mean, we can try it again. I can bring everything down. Let's just give it, CPU is coming down. Let's see what's going on. So stitching things together, it's funny you went there. I do believe so. So what I could do is generate, 5 different images and animate them, and then put the whole soundtrack over it. The other thing is the audio that I'm generating. I'm just going to be patient here. Although I don't like the way this looks. The audio is like 2 minutes long, and the video clip is only 4 seconds long or 14 seconds long, so I'm looping it a couple times. But yeah, we could make this into a whole movie maker where after the first image is made, we can ask for a second prompt and animate that, and a third prompt and a fifth prompt, and keep going. Now, we are limited by the hardware of the time, and it does take a while. Let me just crush this. Let me just kill this, and let me just... I'm not sure what happened there. Let me, I'm not sure. Let me give this whole machine a reboot, to be honest with you, because when WSL crashes like that, it's usually not good. So let me just give this a reboot. It's a 4090 RTX is what I'm using for this. So we'll try that Blade Runner thing again with fresh resources. I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest with you. I haven't seen it do that before. But we can try the Blade Runner one again. I'm also going to grab a couple of more images of my own from my San Diego Zoo deck. I'd like to try to animate the monkey from the cover of my book. Pictures. I've got so many photos for my life here. Let me find San Diego. And they're very small images, so they don't take very long to animate. Where's the monkey one I wanted? It's up here somewhere, right here. The cropped one. So let me copy that. Whoops, and we can use that. Just waiting for this box to restart. Yeah, it is a really nice machine. It's a really high-end machine, and I'm really surprised that VS Code crashed like that. But we'll just give this a minute here to get back into this box. Here we go. And let me get rid of Docker. We don't need that. Okay, so let's go back into that. I have something else as well working that I could show you when maybe if we get bored with this, with a whole different library from Stability AI that will 3D animate an image. So I can show you that in a second. Now let me get rid of this. So this one here didn't, so the image turned out fantastic, Streetcar Named Desire in a certain style, but the animation just sort of changes the color patterns a little bit. You can see not much happens in terms of the animation, but that was an AI generated one. So let's try this again. Let me activate my virtual environment. And Streamlit run Dream Machine. You can slice and dice. So if I had multi-GPU, yeah, you could have dual. So let's try that again. We wanted Blade Runner in an anime style. With 80s cyberpunk music. And we're going to get this started again. Now, the initial spike here in GPU was me getting the prompts from Ollama and Llama 3. And the GPU is going to spike as it starts to generate the image first. So we're generating the image right now. Image is generated, I think. So there's the image. Is that good enough for Blade Runner and anime style? This is what it came up with. And the next thing it's going to do is try to animate it. So now that you can see it's loading up tensors and loading up the image to video model here in the code. And the GPU is going to be pinned for a few minutes as it animates that. And then it's going to generate the audio. Pretty cool. So now that the model's loaded, GPU is going to be pinned, and you're going to see the memory start to climb and max out as we're getting the animation. And then it's going to do the audio next. So we don't have to watch this. We can kind of go back into the code. One thing I want to do is break up this function here into 3 different functions. Instead of just generate animation, I'm going to have generate image, generate animation, generate audio, assemble animation, something like that. And then hopefully at the end of each page, after each thing has been generated, I can display. Okay, so the video is done, and now we're into the audio. So you can see it all falls off, and then it's going to climb a little bit more as it generates the soundtrack for that. So we can actually look at the video here. Whoops. We can look at the video here before the audio has been added. So he kind of like moves and then disappears. Kind of weird. And that's going to run in a loop 5 times to match up with the audio. So it's all done here. And we can download this and move it over to my machine. Where's my downloads? And then also while we're here, let's move the monkey over and do the monkey. So I'm going to refresh this page. And I'm going to upload my monkey. And I'm going to say tropical music. And let's see what happens there. Now let's take a listen to this audio. Blade Runner. And just wipes them off the page, but you know, they're not all great. Let's see how this monkey one does, and I don't think this one will take very long. To animate. And I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he'll blink or close his mouth, or we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, the audio was perfect. The audio is very good, and it does save a WAV file that's like 2 minutes long. So you could, in theory, just use the audio to generate soundtracks and music and things like that. Or just the image generation to do image generation. If anyone's into image generation, I'm not going to be able to run it at the same time. I recommend that you get this stable swarm UI, where you just can literally type in your prompt and it will generate the image. So I could use this and download the image. I also have different models in here, so not just Stable Diffusion, but one called Juggernaut XL. You can even start with seed images. Choose a file and then so make this panda a punk rocker. Now I don't know if my GPU free. Let me wait until this is done and then I'll show you that. And that's very easy to get installed and get going. It has an API. It has lots of neat things. So I think we're going to be done here with the animation of the monkey. And it's going to get into the, yeah, all right, so let's see what this looks like. And let me mute it here. Well, that's neat. Turns his head, his mouth's moving. Wow. Okay, I'm definitely downloading that one. I want to hear this one with the tropical music. Island vibes. I'm going to put this one right on Twitter. Right? Remember the monkey from the cover of my first book. And I'm going to paste in Island vibes. Does anyone out there have anything they want me to animate? I don't know how the best way to get me the file would be, but let me go back to Stable Swarm. Okay, so make this panda a punk rocker, generate. You can actually see the diffusion happening with the Stable Diffusion models. So this is going to hit the GPU. And we can see it diffuse here. And it made like a hyper-realistic, I don't know how it's a punk rocker, but anyway, this is a pretty awesome little toolkit, Stable Swarm. And let's go ahead and do, hey, happy Tuesday, thanks for joining. Let's go ahead and try, I'd like to try, let's do Alien in 16-bit. As a comic book. Single image style of comic book art inspired by the Alien franchise using a nostalgic 16-bit aesthetic. Okay. And for the music, we're going to say science fiction horror music for a 16-bit video game. Next. Yeah, we can do something with packets. So let me let this one finish, and then I'll do the packet one. Packet down the wire, enters or exits, router switches, firewall. So yeah, let's see if we can do something abstract with networking stuff. So I don't know how long, this one should only take a couple minutes to generate. Now, yeah, so we should see the image in a second here. So there's our alien in a 16-bit comic book style. Pretty much nailed the 16-bit comic book style. And now we're going to animate it. Now, hopefully the animation does something cool with the background. Maybe makes these lines move around or explode or something. Or maybe it makes them blink. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll do one more after this, and then I'm going to switch and show you the other code that I have working. And we'll play with it for a little bit. I think it's slightly different. than this, but it's from the same model producer, Stability AI. And it takes an image and will make it 3D and animate it. So this animates it, but the new tool will turn it into a three-dimensional object that we can do a full 360 rotation of. You'll see in a minute. So don't go anywhere. So it's doing the movie generation now. And then we'll get the audio for the 16-bit video game. Now there's no reason why this couldn't be a splash screen in a video game, right? That could be a boss. Okay, so we have the video. And let's take a look at the video. Yeah, see, I knew it would animate the background. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And we'll just wait for the audio to come back. Oh, it killed. Why did it get killed? Oh, maybe because I opened the file? Weird. Okay, so no audio for that one. Let me clean up after myself here. Now let's try to do something abstract with the network. Okay. Make an image of a packet traveling down a wire into a network router. It did remind me of all your base are belong to us. I'm glad somebody else said it. And exits into a firewall in a futuristic diagram of network traffic flowing. Okay, so that'll be our base prompt, and what we'll do is we'll do some awesome 80s synth music or something. '80s electronic music. Now, I don't know how well this, it really depends on what the image looks like, which we get to see pretty early. So we'll take a look and see what this generates for an image. I've yet to try something like this. Let's see what it comes up with. Exits, firewall. Well, that's different. That is different. Trying to show a switch and the packet as it exits the firewall. Okay, that's pretty bad. But it's, and then it's going to animate it, and who knows, maybe the fire will burn or maybe the packets will move down the wire. Okay, come on, anytime now. And then I'm going to fire up the other tool, and we'll play with that for a little bit before I drop off. I just wanted to show you the capability of this thing. Yeah, it looks like most network drawings. Yeah. Exits has two eyes. And who knows what it's going to do to animate it. Okay, so the animation should be done. Yeah, the fire is kind of neat. If you focus on that, everything else is just kind of hallucinating and broken. These lines are moving through the switch. That's kind of neat. What if we could do something simpler like packet moving from point A to point B in a network? Or I wonder what it would do if we uploaded a topology diagram. We should do that. So let's not worry about this with the sound. Let's see if it can animate a network diagram, or what it would do to a network topology diagram. See, like something like this, it would definitely animate it. Triumphant networking sounds. Now again, this is just this itself maybe not the best image, but you know, like an actual network topology like this, I don't know what it would do to animate it, or something like this, you know, who knows, right? Let's just try the one from Shutterstock, and then I'll move on and do the next thing here. So this one should move right into it because we've got the uploaded image. And I wonder if it's going to make the lights blink or the globe spin or traffic move along these traces on the ground. Just a couple seconds here. I don't know why it's stopping. I've seen this happen. This is the second time. I don't know why. Come on. Now it's back into GPU. So something happened here that disrupted this. I don't know why. We'll let it finish, but that's bizarre. Something I gotta look out for. So it loaded the tensors. Okay, there's our image, there's our video. So it did rotate the globe, and it just sort of moved all the other stuff around. That's freaky. Okay, all right, now let me shut this down, and I'll show you something else that I worked on this morning that I got, well, last night that I got going today. So I need to go into a different virtual environment. What did I even call this stuff? 1 second. Rotate image. And I've got a specific virtual environment. So I got one there I can show you an output of one. Okay, so what this one can do is take an image, ideally with a white background, and animate it. meaning a full 360-degree view of it. Now, Spider-Man's not the best. You can see his masks, and he kind of has a hump on his back, but pretty remarkable, right? So I'm just going to delete this, and we're going to go into the Streamlit, and we're going to upload an image. Not that one. Hang on. I deleted them all. Where did they go? Let's go ahead and get an image from the Stable Diffusion. So they have a library of images that they've animated here. Pretty cool, right? So let's just grab one. Let's grab this stuffed rhino. And we'll use that one. So we're going to upload the stuffed rhino and generate the video. Now this takes a bit of time as well on the GPU, and I can show you the code for this. It's pretty straightforward. So I've cloned in all of the required scripts, including this simple video sample from the Stability team. I made a couple of adjustments to get it working for me, and I made this Streamlit app. Now it has some of the same things with random. I need to import random. Where you can make your own prompt or use drop downs or whatever, and I'm adding to that prompt, generate it with a white background to see if we can animate it. For now, I've only uploaded. So the thing here is the constant elevation and the azimuths degrees, and this has to be 21 values. This has to be a single value or 21 values. So this is the mix that I found will give me rotating horizontally like a top, like this, without any tilt. But we could add a tilt and make it rotate like a gyroscope if you wanted. And it makes an MP4 file with, the animation. Can we train these models? I believe they can be fine-tuned. Because they are open source models, you can fine-tune them to do better image generation or of a certain quality. I haven't got into the fine-tuning of these models yet. I'm just sort of consuming them and building overlays on top of them. And again, I don't know how long this is going to take, so we're just going to have to be patient here. As you can see, it's loaded up all the checkpoints. I have the SV3DP model, right? So this is the model that I'm using, is the SV3DP model to animate that image that we've uploaded. So we're just gonna have to hang out and wait for it to finish. But I think this is really cool, taking an image and making it where you can rotate around at 360 degrees. Now we might have to find some good images with some white backgrounds. Something like the Eiffel Tower maybe, with a white background. This here, we might be able to get it to rotate it. Something like that. Let's just get this one working first. Come on. Of course, a watch pot never boils, and me sitting here watching it makes it feel like it's taking, a really, really long time. It's just a few minutes. So there's the GPU's fallen off. No, not yet. It looked like it was done. But I have made a few of these already that I can show you while we wait for that one to generate. They're up on my YouTube as well. Whoops, over here. Videos. Oh, did I not upload any of these? Maybe not. Maybe I have not uploaded any of these. I have on my Twitter feed. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're on my Twitter feed. Yeah, it does look like the something at a CSI where they do, enhance and give me a 3D view of it. But this is also open source and free and an early, iteration of this technology. Imagine this in the future. Okay, the GPU's fallen off. Okay, so let's take a look at our Rhino and see what happens here. Like, check that out. I wish I could slow down the rotation speed. And it kind of tilts towards the end a little bit there, you see? But that is quite remarkable. Now let me download it and I'll show you it locally without the VNC. And it'll look a little crisper on my computer here. Pretty neat, right? Now I could add audio to that. But what do you think of that? Now let's try that Eiffel Tower. Oh, it's a... Yeah, they're all going to have watermarks and stuff. What about the Wikipedia page? They have an image there that I can use. See, I don't know how well it will do with a non-white background or with an image like this. We can certainly try it. There's got to be something better out there. And it doesn't have to be the Eiffel Tower. It could be really anything at all with a white background. Something with a little bit more detail like this. Let me try this one. Oh, the 3D dancing baby. That's a funny one. Yeah, I bet you we could do that. Is there one with it on a white background? Like this one, maybe? Oh, that's already a 3D model. I just want the... Yeah, we could probably do that. I don't know how well it does with a black background either. But anyway, it's kind of neat. Let me see. Like I did the television. I did the TV worked really well. The shine on the screen even rotated with it. We could try the astronaut. The astronaut would be neat because he's got the backpack that it would have to infer. Now I also, so let's see here how well this is doing. Going to be a few minutes until the... Try decreasing discard threshold or start with a larger shift. it's giving me some warnings here, some performance warnings. I'll have to look into that. Anything I can do to make it better. Now let's just be patient with the Eiffel Tower business. All right, let's just see. I'd like to see, so this is a little bit more sophisticated image here. And I'm really curious to see how well this rotates. And then I've got the spaceman here too we can do. The rhino was super impressive. Well, thanks again for joining me. I hope you found this interesting and maybe give you a nudge in the direction of starting to do some AI work or work on building your own images or whatever. All this code is open source or will be on my GitHub repository. Now, I have a high-end GPU access here with the 4090, but this would work on a 3060 or a 2090 or any generation. It will take longer, but you can still do it for free and do it locally. Image generation, animations, audio, 3D rotations. It's all free and open source code. So we had some fun today. Let's finish up with this Eiffel Tower business. And I'll let you get back to your life. Okay. A teaser, but it's got to be close. Usually when it falls off once, we're sort of near the end of the run. I can see shared GPU climbing a bit as well. So, let's see here. It's probably going to be wacky, but let's see. I'm really curious if it's going to be able to rotate something like the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, what to download? You can pretty much just clone my repository and follow along, and there's not much left to download. All right, so let's take a look here. Okay, the bottom sucks. It didn't draw the feed out for the other bottoms. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, gang. Well, thanks for joining the stream. And I'll probably be doing this throughout the week. If you've got any ideas or comments, please like and subscribe if you can.